Seen singing and clapping are refugees from Nakivale settlement in Isingiro district. They are here to welcome officials from an international organization that promotes farming in the refugee settlements. Here in Nakivale, they have been supported in growing vegetables, root crops and fruits at subsistence and commercial levels.
So most
of them have reduced on their household expenditure through farming, because the other time they could ask husbands for money, but now they do farming and get money from what they have practiced.
The initiative is complementary in addressing food shortage in refugee settlements. And that is why a side event for the extraordinary summit on comprehensive Africa agriculture development programs has been set aside.
As part of the summit, the government of Uganda and the African Union Commission will host a major side event on women and youth in agri-food systems. Given the large population of refugees in Uganda, most of whom are from African countries, the government will also have a side event on refugees, forced migration, and agri-food systems in Africa. These two will be held under the sub-theme Building Resilience of Agri-Food System through Commercialization.
In line with the theme of the summit, Sustainable and Resilient Agri-Food Systems for a Healthy and Prosperous Africa makes timely the upcoming engagement.
We have a very high population growth rate, which does not balance with the amount of food that we produce. So the food we produce is not catching up with the number of children we have. And because we have a fairly young population, we have a high dependency ratio, and therefore the amount of food we need for our children, milk, for example, vitamins responsible for growth and other things, is not enough.
About 3 months ago, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees visited Uganda at Ramwanja refugee settlement in Kamwenge district, in company of Uganda's minister in charge of refugee management, Engineer Hilary Onek. Top among their concerns was the issue of food security being hampered by limited resources.
How do we fill all this gap? This is why we need to mobilize development assistance. So I don't know if there is a crisis, but there are many crises, that's for sure. Sudan, Lebanon, Gaza, Ukraine, and long list of Congo, of course. Sudan, many crises, South Sudan. So that's Somalia. That's the competition that makes that this amount of money gets thinner, because it has to be spread in so many parts of the world.
We have districts like Kamwenge now with refugees. Now, if there's any program here, it might not only benefit refugees alone, it should benefit also the host communities.
General Kasura is optimistic such concerns will be addressed at the upcoming summit.
From the 9th January, on the 9th, we shall have the ministers of agriculture responsible for agriculture with the relevant experts. On the 10th, we shall have meetings of ministers of foreign affairs in charge of together with the ministers in charge of agriculture. In other words, 10th, we shall have both the ministers of foreign affairs and the ministers of agriculture. And the 11th, we shall have an extraordinary summit of the heads of state and government.
Uganda is home to over 1.7 million refugees. Majority of them are from South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, and now Sudan, among other countries. Henry Okrut, UBC.